Hello, my friend. Have you recently found yourself staring at a glowing screen, watching lines of code or artificial intelligence generate in seconds what used to take you hours, and felt a cold shiver of obsolescence creeping in? You are not alone. In this rapidly accelerating world, the fear of being replaced, of losing one's livelihood to a machine, is a heavy cloud hanging over countless minds. Think of a seasoned cartographer standing in a city that changes its streets overnight. He clutches his meticulously hand-drawn map, terrified because the roads no longer match his paper. His panic arises not because he has lost the ability to walk, but because his old reference points have vanished. Similarly, you might feel like an antique clockmaker watching a digital era unfold, terrified that your intricate gears are no longer needed, forgetting that time itself continues, and your true skill was always your profound patience, not just the metal cogs. We suffer deeply because we mistakenly attach our entire identity to the tasks we perform. When a machine mimics those tasks, it feels as though our very existence is being erased. Yet, true wisdom reminds us that fear is never truly about the future. How can you fear what has not yet happened? What you are actually experiencing is the mind's desperate clinging to the past. You are afraid that the identity you have built yesterday will not survive into tomorrow. Look closely at the nature of this reality. The labels we wear, our job titles, our daily routines, are merely temporary forms. They are like passing clouds, completely devoid of a permanent, unchanging core. When you realize that your true worth is not bound to a specific economic function, the illusion shatters. You cross over to a shore where anxiety cannot follow, finding absolute freedom in embracing the unknown. How, then, do we navigate this shifting terrain, friend, without being consumed by panic? The secret lies not in fighting the current, nor in trying to outswim the artificial minds we have created, but in fundamentally shifting how we perceive our own nature. If your entire life is built upon repetition, upon doing the same predictable sequence of actions, you have unknowingly turned yourself into a machine long before any algorithm arrived to take your place. The arrival of this new technology is not a curse. It is a profound wake-up call. It is existence shaking you by the shoulders, asking you to remember the vast, unquantifiable consciousness that you truly are. Consider a young man who spent a decade working as an audio mastering engineer. His days were consumed by adjusting frequencies, removing background noise, and balancing levels until a track sounded flawless. Then came an automated software capable of analyzing and mastering a song to industry standards in a matter of seconds. Devastated, he felt his life's dedication was rendered meaningless overnight. He retreated into despair, wandering the city until he found himself in a dusty, dimly lit instrument repair shop. There, an elderly, blind piano tuner was slowly, meticulously working on an upright piano. The young engineer poured out his heart, lamenting how a soulless code had stolen his purpose. The old tuner paused, his weathered hands resting on the ivory keys. "You are grieving because you thought your purpose was to remove errors," the old man said softly. A machine can eradicate imperfections perfectly, but music is not merely the absence of flaws. It is the raw, unpolished breath of a human soul. If you only compete in the realm of mechanical perfection, you will always lose to a machine. Stop listening like a calculator and begin listening like a feeling, breathing being. Let the machine do the cleaning so you can return to the art of feeling. This profound realization echoes the deepest truth of existence. What we consider solid and permanent is fundamentally fluid and empty of a fixed self. The form of your profession, the specific tasks, the daily grind, is entirely empty of a permanent essence. When you cling to the rigid form, you suffer when it inevitably breaks. But when you understand that form is merely a temporary expression of your underlying energy, you realize that the dissolution of an old job is simply the birth of a new possibility. You are crossing over from the shore of rigid identities to the shore of boundless potential. The intelligence of the universe is not stored in a server. It flows through your ability to adapt, to love, and to remain present in the face of the unknown. Let us look at another corner of this modern world. There was a brilliant logistics planner whose mind was a fortress of schedules, supply chains, and optimized delivery routes. She prided herself on saving her company thousands of hours. Yet, within a few months, a self-learning algorithm absorbed her entire framework, optimizing routes with a mathematical brilliance she could never match. She felt erased, stripped of her identity as the indispensable strategist. Seeking solace, she traveled to a remote mountain village, trying to escape the hum of servers and screens. There, she observed an elderly woman weaving a tapestry on a traditional wooden loom. The process was agonizingly slow, full of pauses, sighs, and spontaneous changes in color. The planner, driven by her old habits, instinctively calculated how a mechanized loom could finish the piece in a fraction of the time. She voiced this thought to the weaver. The old woman smiled, threading a vibrant blue yarn. "Efficiency," the weaver replied, "is the language of the lifeless. It is the obsession of those who want to rush toward the end. But meaning is the language of the living. This tapestry holds the quiet morning mist, my sorrow from yesterday, and the joy of this sudden sunlight. A machine can weave the thread infinitely faster, but it cannot weave the morning mist into the fabric. You are terrified of the machine because you have forgotten how to weave your humanity into your days. You traded your soul for speed, and now a faster entity has arrived. These encounters reveal a transformative truth. We are terrified of artificial intelligence only because we have spent centuries functioning with artificial consciousness. We have mechanized our education, our work, and our relationships, reducing our vast inner skies to mere data points and productivity metrics. When you are asked to step down from being a biological machine, it feels like a death. But it is, in fact, a liberation. A machine operates entirely from the past. It relies on accumulated data, on what has already been known and categorized. It cannot take a leap into the unknown. It cannot act out of spontaneous illogical compassion. It cannot sit in silent awe at the beauty of a falling leaf. Do not fight the shifting tides of this era. Surrender to them. Let the algorithms calculate. Let them organize. Let them process the heavy burdens of predictable logic. This frees you to finally explore the dimensions of your being that no code can ever replicate. Your vulnerability, your intuition, your profound capacity to be fully, silently present. When you stop identifying with the mechanical tasks of your daily life, the fear evaporates. You are no longer an employee of a changing economy. You are an explorer of consciousness. By dropping the heavy armor of your past achievements, you remain light, flexible, and totally open. You realize that true security is never found in clinging to a familiar job, but in the radical acceptance of the present moment. standing naked and fearless before the mystery of what comes next. Hello, friend. Now that we have looked deeply into the illusion of our mechanical identities, let us gently lay down the heavy armor of constant calculation. You do not need to figure out tomorrow right in this moment. Close your eyes or simply let your gaze soften, resting on a quiet spot in the room. Imagine your mind as that complex audio mixing board from the young engineer's story. For so long, you have been pushing all the sliders to the absolute maximum, tuning out the background noise of your own fatigue, amplifying the treble of your anxieties, desperately trying to balance the frequencies of your survival in a hyper-optimized world. Now, simply take a slow, deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine your hands gently pulling all those sliders down to zero. Let the frantic equalization stop completely. Allow the raw, unedited silence of your own presence to fill the empty space. Feel the physical weight of your body pressing against the chair or the floor. Notice how your shoulders, which have been carrying the invisible burden of future algorithms and economic forecasts, are tightly wound like the stiffest, most unyielding yarn. Breathe deeply into that specific tension. With every exhalation, let that tightness unravel, just like the old weaver letting her colorful threads fall loosely, spontaneously into her lap. You are not a tight schedule that must be perfectly executed. You are not a metric of efficiency waiting to be evaluated. You are a living, a breathing organism, entirely capable of resting in the profound beauty of simply being, without needing to produce anything at all. As your breathing deepens, becoming slower and more rhythmic, allow your awareness to sink beneath the surface of your professional titles and your daily anxieties. There is an ancient spiritual truth, a sacred vibration that speaks of the ultimate journey of consciousness. It is the profound realization of going beyond. It whispers to the soul, go, go, go beyond. Go completely beyond to the other shore, awaken and rejoice. Feel the profound meaning of this truth washing over your entire being right now. The shore you are leaving behind is the land of predictable routines, the territory where you measured your worth by how fast and flawlessly you could produce. The shore you are crossing over to is the vast, uncharted territory of your true nature. A place where intuition, compassion, and silent awareness reign supreme. You are going beyond the fear of the artificial by fully awakening to the deeply natural. Stay softly in this space of crossing over. Feel the quiet, unquantifiable energy pulsing in your veins. A machine requires electricity, a constant external input, a rigid code to run its calculations. But your life force, this gentle rhythm of your heartbeat, is a spontaneous combustion of cosmic mystery. It does not need a software update to exist. It does not need to justify its presence through output. Rest in this organic warmth. Imagine that all the frantic data streams, the endless scrolling, the notifications of a changing world are just digital rain falling on a thick glass window. You are sitting inside, warm, untouched, watching the droplets slide down the pane, marveling at the complexity of the storm without getting wet. You are reclaiming the sanctuary of your inner sky, a sky that no cloud of artificial intelligence can ever permanently cover. In this deep relaxation, you realize that your humanity is your ultimate sanctuary. The ability to feel sudden sorrow, to experience the awe of a quiet morning mist, to offer a spontaneous, illogical smile to a stranger on the street. These are not inefficiencies to be optimized out of existence. They are the very poetry of being alive. Let this realization restore your spirit from the inside out. You are not obsolete, friend. You are finally being invited to be truly, entirely alive. Take one more deep, nourishing breath, filling your lungs with the uncalculated air of this exact moment. Gently release it, bringing this profound peace back into your waking reality. When you are ready, slowly open your eyes. May you walk through this changing era not with the trembling steps of a fearful competitor, but with the graceful dance of an awakened soul, deeply rooted in the peace of your own unshakable presence. If this journey of reflection has brought a sense of stillness to your heart today, please share this message with someone who might also be carrying the heavy burden of the future. And subscribe so we may continue to explore the depths of our shared consciousness together.